Think we're
Hi, it's Stephanie Staples from Your Life Unlimited, and I'm here in beautiful British Columbia. I'm speaking at a nursing conference, and I'm lucky enough to share the stage with this lady. Kath Murray is the owner of Life and Death Matters. But more than that, today we're talking about excellence in practice. There were some really interesting things you were talking about, make us think a little bit different. And far from being a perfectionist, but thinking of it in a different way as excellence. So let's talk a little bit about excellence.
Well, one of the questions we asked was, what does excellence feel like? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? And it was exciting to get people's different takes on that. And also the whole piece about excellence is an attitude. It's not a skill, it's an attitude, and it's a habit. And it's a striving to be the best you can be. And so that means that excellence is within all of our grasp, and we don't have to wait until we've got 20 or 30 years of experience or until we know everything about our field. That simply in having an attitude and a way of being, that we can feel that. And
I love the differentiation between being the best and being your best. It's huge.
It is. And so that means that all of us, whether we're working as a casual, whether we're starting, whether we're a brand new nurse, that we can in fact be excellent.
Excellent. And whether you're a nurse or not, for everybody, we can all strive for excellence in different areas of our lives.
And one of the other things is, what does it feel like? And somebody said, we were comparing it to pasta. And the fact that...
As an Italian, I like that.
Yeah, well, and also we're here at this Italian Cultural Center, which is built with vision and dream. And but the whole concept of what does pasta? Well, pasta feels good, it tastes good, and somebody says it sticks to your hips. And I thought, well, that's what we want, excellence. You know, we want it to feel good and taste good, and we want it to stick to your heart or your hips or whatever. So it's just a part of who you are.
Yeah, it's a way of being, a way of thinking. The other thing, well, you're a big part of what you do is create resources for palliative care.
Yeah.
I think so many people, especially if you aren't in the healthcare field, and some of us that are as well, just have a real difficulty talking about dying, talking about the process, death, upcoming death, imminent death. You try and make that easier for people.
Well, yeah, in the resource, the Manual Essentials in Hospice Palliative Care is an easy read introduction to the basics of hospice palliative care. We have family caregivers who say, I think I can do this now. And we have nurses who just have loved it, and healthcare workers have loved it. And so it's got a bit of a broad appeal, but the best thing about it is it's just the basics, and it's got some good story in it to just help pull the theory along. And then we've put together some podcasts and some PowerPoints and DVDs to just try and make it easier for whether you're a college instructor or somebody teaching in a residential care facility, or whether you're an individual just wanting to study. It's available. And this is not rocket science, and I really want people to realize that this is accessible. And you know, the D word, it can be a hard one, but usually, you know, once you get working with it and talking about it, you know, most people that are heading there are much more comfortable than we think they are.
Something you said really interesting about the week before, that 50% of the...
Dying with chronic illness. If you're dying with chronic illness, a lot of people think that dying looks a certain way. And when you're dying with, say, some of the cancers, you see in the 6 months before death a real marked decline in functioning. But in dying with chronic illness, half of the people will start out a week thinking it's the week of like any other week. And at the end of the week, they'll be dead. So half of the people will know that death is coming at the end of the week, and the other half will not know that this is their last week. And in fact, a couple studies, the day before death, people were still thought to be living another 6 months. So as I said today, that if you're waiting till time of death is absolutely certain, you'll probably be filling out the death certificate rather than providing the palliative support. So one of the questions we often ask now is, would you be surprised if this person died in the next year? And if the answer is yes, then probably they need a palliative approach. And that doesn't mean they only get palliative care, but it means that we can consider, how do we make this person more comfortable? How do we help them live life more fully until they die? And so why should we wait until they're on their last breaths before they get to take advantage of the palliative care program?
Yes. I think it's such a gift, and it's hard for people who aren't in a healthcare background, I think, to understand what a privilege it is to be with somebody who is in those final stages, and what a gift it is to actually be involved in that process. So thank you for making that easier for people. Thank you for making resources accessible and for sharing your knowledge with us. If people want to find you and check out your work, where do they?
They can go to www